Philosophy is my minor. I think for many hours a day. Ah yes, I shall be the greatest thinker of this generation. Hello Redditors of the internet, Noble Xenon here, and welcome to r/IAmVerySmart, part 17. Let's get started. So, my intellectuals, people who quote themselves on social media, why? It is not that science struggles to quantify miracles, it's that when science is applied to miracles, they cease to be miraculous. John, the intellectual, and I game with his replies, maybe in this moment he was just feeling euphoric. For this next one, my vocab good. I wonder if swearing in English is perceived as more insulting or powerful to them. If that's the case, I could probably make their heads explode if I started cursing at them, considering my extensive vocabulary for saying insulting things. When you have the thesaurus of insults in your back pocket, this next one is brutally outclassed. Someone comments, over on r/horror, highbrow versus lowbrow is elitist BS. And of course, the most elite of individuals replies, do you have degrees outside of education? Because if your flex is, I am an English teacher, holy F man, congrats, you have arms and legs. I do agree, however, that many poets regarded as highbrow were opium addicts trying to make bank. Shakespeare stole everything he wrote, and minus Hamlet, most of what he wrote was crap. That's the extent I'm going to engage, because you were brutally outclassed, and you started with, as an English teacher, which might impress some, but for reasons I again am not going to get into, is basically screaming, I don't know anything from my perspective. Apparently to this guy, Shakespeare is overrated. Behold, the modern-day Simone de Beauvoir. I don't feel anything for Ukrainian or Russian people, because both are meaningless abstractions, floating signifiers, whose content is ephemeral, inchoate, and ever-changing, determined entirely by media propagandists. Stop letting war pigs weaponize your empathy as an abstraction. First time I've heard this take, the entire concept of countries is apparently propaganda now. For this next one, I am so impotent that my impotence has exceeded the impotency of impotence. And you should vouch for kicking your dad in his balls, cause he's given off an offspring that's just a loser and a disappointment to the whole world. And the intellectual replies, sad. When you're politically impotent and religiously impotent internationally, whether it's China, Ukraine, or even at the UN, you resort to impotent behavior of lashing out to random people online. This next one is acting like an English major, though didn't another intellectual say they were kinda dumb? Rules. Though it's clear you're not very much an English major, nor were you attentive during English class in elementary and all the way to high school, so it's not a wonder how come you didn't understand that simple concept at all, that words mean things. Yes, words mean things. What a big brain conclusion there. For this next one, Ukraine, get ready, because we may have found the best military mastermind since Sun Tzu. On r/Ukraine, any English-speaking Ukrainian war think tank I can join to add some creative brain power? I'm hoping to join or perhaps start a highly creative think tank or whatever to help fight the Russians with some brain power. If there's already such a group, please message me. I'm seriously going nuts not being part of creating innovative solutions to help Ukraine. Creative problem solving is my shit, and I can do some coding, though I've been mostly out of it in recent years. Let's do something, and fast. Let's get some engineers, coders, military peeps, people with solid knowledge of Russian hardware and strats, drone specialists, etc. Ah yes, military peeps. For this next one, A2 Redditor, the opinion of that bunch of manipulati is completely irrelevant. They have absolutely no impact on the future. In the most intolerant wins dictatorship of a small minority, Nassim Taleb explains why it is of absolutely no use to ask the simple-minded masses what they believe. Therefore, let the imbecilati believe what they want. Nobody cares, and it does not matter anyway. What's all these words ending in I? Are you in the Illuminati or what? We have known that for thousands of years already. In his quote Annals, Tacitus already pointed that out. That is why Tacitus despises the simple-minded masses and views them with contempt only. Vulgus plebs, imperatum ad deteriora promptum. I don't know Latin, so I probably butchered that. Moving on, is the master's degrees in how to be a Karen, or is that the high-level job? Don't tell me that we're about to encounter a Karen on r/IAmVerySmart of all subreddits. Dear Starbucks baristas, please stop forcing sugar on me. When I order a black coffee, it is because I, indeed, want it black. I promise you, as a 34-year-old mother of two, with a master's degree and a high-level job for a very large national organization, if I wanted sugar in my coffee, I would figure out how to get the words from my mouth to ask for it. I like my coffee black, without sugar, because that is what black coffee is. If there is a secret way to order black coffee other than, I'd love a grande iced coffee, just black please, let me know, and I'll be happy to say it. Thanks so much, Sugar High. Hey, I found your secret order. It's called no sugar. Hey, if you're enjoying this, then why not hit that like button? If you want to see more, subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and comment if you have something on your mind. For this next one, I'm sure people tell you that. Man, that's hilarious, given that everyone I know tells me I'm incredibly logical and factual in my views. Even the people who don't see eye to eye with me agree with that. And you know that I'm right about intelligent design, deep down. You will never admit it to me, but you know I'm right. And one day, if you don't give up your stubbornness, you will be on your deathbed deeply regretting how you denied your creator your whole life. And now, more Reddit? Kidding me? Something is just so agitating about you and the way you've handled disagreement throughout this thread. It's okay. I'm used to being the most knowledgeable in many scenarios, and while I do have the emotional capacity to explain issues politely, in fact I get paid to do so, I have no interest in always doing it. And one of the things that I hate the most in this world is arrogant ignorance, coming from people with little to no knowledge on the matter, and still insisting they are right. I have no sympathy for this, so I am gladly unpleasant with them. And for this next one, we must think for a moment. Is the number 1 odd or even? 0 is not odd, even, or negative, or positive. It is absolutely nothing. It's impossible to draw a perfect vacuum because there are still particles and atoms. You know, this so-called intellectual, there's a difference between 0 and nothing. Anyway, however, numbers occupy a theoretical basis, i.e., you can owe money so you are in the negative/red. You are obviously a D student. You understand addition in the positive, but never grasped the full picture. I corrected a typo, by the way. Did you see it? I just drank a 12-pack of beer, and I'm still smarter than this guy. For this next one, we go to Discord. Watch out, we got a STEM major. Whoever has their clothes done in the washer, can you just come take it out? It's been like 15 minutes since it finished. Just wait. 15 minutes isn't that much. As a STEM major, if I'm 15 minutes late to a single final, that's years of hard work down the drain. You need some perspective. And 2 people reacted with nauseated face emojis. Sorry, I should have been more sensitive. As a dumb chas major, vomiting emojis, I don't understand how time works. Well, time is simply too complex for your inferior brain. For this next one, yes, because that totally qualifies you as an adult. Why you calling people kids then, lol? You're funny. I'm not a kid because of my age. I'm doing 18-plus-year-old international questions. I'm a nerd, cool sunglasses emoji. This dude thinks they're grown for answering some college-level questions. That's not how it works, buddy. And now we have a person on Facebook offering their take. Me listening to Americans complain about high, quote, gas prices, wondering why do they call a liquid fuel gas? And the intellectual, of course, has to reply to the meme, because ... language, and the literal definition of actual words. Shrugs, rolls eyes, and face palms. Also me, because I can make a full tank of this supposed, quote, gas, which is in fact a liquid, in like 30 minutes of work, laughing emoji, and more shrugging. You're gonna have to shrug the intelligence off this one, if you want to keep your memes funny, that is. For this next one, people are annoying. I see, so you thought you tried the oh look, I'm edgy approach on the internet? Pretty much. I'm at 23.6k karma after about half a year, so I guess it's working. However, the difference between me and edgelords is that I am actually highly intelligent. I'm not like other trolls, as I troll smartly. This post says different. I exaggerate my tone on Reddit. But even when defending the most egregious positions, my intellect allows me to win arguments most of the time. It's easy to refute the convictions of normies. Ah yes, you destroyed this Redditor with facts and logic. No wonder you win so many arguments. My former boss. I took one of them online IQ tests. I bailed halfway through, but at that point my score was already 79. So if I'd finished it, it would have been almost 160. Sorry dude, it really doesn't work that way. I can answer one question off an IQ test correctly, and then say if I would have finished it, I would have gotten a 250 IQ. Wow. And now we have a multiple paragraph psychoanalysis from random Redditor is quantum physics. Not triggered, just bored. Writing multiple dissertations isn't really all that hard for me either, but I forgot the childlike mentality that I'm dealing with here, so I can understand how baffled and confused you must have been by my responses. You want me to send you a thesaurus along with that grass so that you could learn how to write in paragraphs? Maybe a little dictionary too, with big bright colored pictures so that you can comprehend the big scary words I've been throwing your way. You seem pretty jealous to me, and eager to learn as well, so far be it from me to help out a basement-dwelling Redditor in need. And sure, if imagining me crying helps you navigate it through your own rage-filled head, then go for it. I know it can't be easy living in a state of narcissistic, smug, and misplaced self-assuredness that feeds off of insulting random people online. It honestly sounds like your life must be miserable. Gotta love Redditors psychoanalyzing other Redditors while calling them basement dwellers like if they're some sort of neckbeard. Anyway, we got ourselves a harsh reality check for this next one. Someone says, if I were to be working in the insurance industry, I would see myself working as a field agent with primary responsibilities of sales and marketing. I would choose this role because I feel that I would be good at making sales and can talk to people very easily. I also enjoy the marketing aspect, as that was my original major choice. However, I am now majoring in business administration and real estate.
It's free real estate.
Qualities that I have that would fit this role are my experience in marketing that I have gained from classes at SDSU like BA 370. I'm also very honest and good at communicating, which are big players in selling insurance, and are what you need to be successful. I've always been interested in sales and enjoy the process of it. The challenges I think I would face in this role would be finding clients to sell insurance to. Depending on the type of insurance I'm selling, it may make it more difficult as well. I see, but the intellectual has formulated a response of their own. Hello! After reading your response, I discovered a slight cause for pause as you mentioned your preferred role in the insurance industry would be as a field agent. Speaking from a place of objective guidance, I see you more as a pencil pusher, crunching numbers back end, while people like myself are in the field representing the company on the front end. Alright, now you're just disrespecting the people who work on the back end of things. Regarding front end sales representation, it takes a specific personality type and mentality to consistently put yourself behind enemy lines, knowing your paycheck depends on your output in the field. This dude thinks we're going to war or something. The personality traits most highly associated with a successful field agent or broker are a competitive mindset, extroverted personality, and an uncanny ability to throw yourself in stressful situations without pause. These traits are prerequisites for this role, as throughout my career I have seen numerous hopeful workers come and go. Unfortunately, I have not yet been able to identify these characteristics in you. However, there is plenty of time to acquire these traits before you throw yourself into the industry. Think of this response not as discouragement, but instead as a harsh reality check as to what is required of a successful insurance field agent. Great, more armchair psychologists, exactly what we need. And the reply, excuse me dear intellectual, this is not appropriate. Period. Full stop. I'm beyond disappointed and disturbed. I'm gonna be contacting you privately about your future in our class. We sincerely apologize for this individual's behavior. Oh, this next one's so smart that people can't even comprehend. Most don't. Only 20 or 30% ever really can decipher or read my intent. Reading comp is sorta shit on the internet apparently. If only 20 or 30% understand your intent, you need to get better at communication. And now a man tried explaining a meme about plates that looked upside down, and he just ended up hurting my brain. They're not upside down, look at the shadows, with one laughing reaction. And of course, the over-explainer replies, I hate when I have to explain something meant for fun. Winky face, yeah, it kinda ruins the fun. Evidently, you're kind of like blind in the mind. Not a bad thing, you just lack the ability to see some things. This meme is actually ambiguous images or reversible figures. They are visual forms, which create ambiguity by exploiting graphical similarities and other properties of visual system interpretation between two or more distinct image forms. What a fun meme, huh? Yeah, and you just killed all of it. For this next one, but of course, that's just his toxic trait. I've been familiar with military affairs since at least 14. That was also the age I started to meet some people and learn some things. What kind of things, who knows? Let's be real though, if I ever did political science or international affairs, I feel I'd make the professor look like a fool. But that's my toxic trait. Great, another military genius over here. And now we have even more psychoanalysis. Y'all are so mad at something so trivial. Is there a slur slipped in my original comment somewhere that I didn't see, or what's going on here? I'm not mad, I'm just wondering how you could be so dense as to think wordplay irony is at all relevant or appropriate, and then more so, to double down and defend it. It's not even so much the abysmal lack of even the most basic of social skills, but the defiance in response to having it pointed out. And now, the average Steam discussions user. Can you guys take your argument to another thread? I do not want my support questions to be turned into a Windows versus Linux debate. Don't worry, I've no intention of feeding his ignorance. He/she made it woefully clear that they have no programming or relevant industry background. It was incredibly cringe-inducing to read. People really shouldn't particularly fake it with technical topics where others might witness and comment that actually have the proper background. With the sheer amount of incorrect information they spout, it isn't even worth the effort. They couldn't even comprehend basic concepts, like while mobile will overtake consoles once graphene replaces silicon, allowing even mobile devices to have literally several thousand times the processing power of current high-end PCs. Processing power we honestly can't tap with current technologies, leading to virtually no real bottleneck, allowing devs to render hyper-realistic visuals, ludicrously advanced physics, and anything else they desire. Honestly, if you are struggling, your best bet is to ask your question in the appropriate Reddit or Stack Exchange sections. That said, to answer the specific question asked, yes, Proton apparently works well with this game. Google Dark Souls 3 Proton Linux, and the first several hits will give you some positive feedback on it. For this next one, you just know he's not even 20 yet. On r/the10th dentist, people whose cultural memory begins after 2008 are incapable of experiencing genuine nostalgia. Dude, you just gotta give it a few more years, they'll start feeling nostalgia. I often see comments in regards to Gen Z speaking of having nostalgia for times that they weren't around for or didn't experience. Yet this is obviously an insincere scapegoat to obviate the fact that they were born into a generation where authentic cultural production has all but ceased, and have little to none of their own lived experiences to remember, other than the same platitudinous conditions of shallow social media trends, auto-tuned pop music, internet memes, and widespread digitalization that we have been living under for the last 12 to 13 years. Thus, they feel compelled to bite off of previous generations' experiences as a replacement for their own. Or maybe it's because the internet has allowed Gen Z, and anyone really, to see things from other generations. But anyway, let's see these responses. LMAO, this guy thinks culture just stopped when he grew up. Yeah, that's kinda what it sounds like. Guarantee you he's 19 years old. And now for this next one, we are superior because we are in a gifted program. You have a gift. You are in this aspect a superior member of the human species. You are a genetic advancement/advantage just because you take a few gifted classes. And for this last one, I don't go on Hinge for a week and I come back to find this absolute catch. Does the mechanical Turk dream of Trojan horses? He thought to himself while a single phrase repeated in his head. I do not am. I thought that was a clever reference. Can't believe I was invited to the ball and no one showed to dance. You would think the person who invited you would be there, but that assumption would make you, me, wrong and stupid. Gah, I say. I'll have none of it. I need a bit of reciprocation. I don't know that I was invited here by the void. Trevor, my dear, I don't get on here more often because I have far more pressing matters than some well-spoken dude on Hinge. I apologize, and I would very much appreciate your understanding. I too have more pressing matters. My body trying to kill me is of course at the top of the list. At the bottom, I'm out of peanut butter. However, somehow I find a way. So while I understand your desire not wanting to go on a date with me, and your desire to toss out well-spoken dude on Hinge as a passive, contextual insult, I find it a great compliment, as I am typing this way in preparation to ghostwrite this awful teen fantasy book for an English author. This is how he speaks, and I find it just as loathsome as you, perhaps more so. That being said, I do not understand why you would keep the profile, respond immediately when called out, showing that you are looking at it frequently enough to get back to someone in a more than timely manner. Now, speaking in my quote normal voice, don't kid yourself. That dog don't hunt. Trevor, just stop. And we'll stop it right here as well. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of my patrons, especially Benjamin, Spoonie the Rogue, Nightcrawler, Kettle and Cormetti, Bacon Cat, and a jury of jubilantly juggling Jerrys. You can join in a link below, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you have something interesting to say, don't forget to comment. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. See you guys next time.